On the Bank is proudly sponsored by Dovetail Games Euro Fishing.
Welcome back to the show, and now it's time to head back out with the lads from Big Buoy Charters in search of some fish with teeth.
Oh, look at this.
I tell you, he's Magic Man.
He's got a gift, hasn't he? Got a gift.
Mackerel Man, Mackerel Savage. Doing this, to be honest, it actually was a touch by accident because, you know, Peter was good enough to sort of have faith in me because everybody thought it was a bit of a funny thing to begin with.
Well, everyone thought you were mad, let's be honest.
Absolutely. Shark mad, let's be fair.
Yep.
You know, once you sort of can show people the thinking, the logic, you know, the bait fish, where the bait fish are holding up, what poor beagles and that actually like, and you can show those areas and show the evidence, I think people sort of look at it slightly differently. Our waters are warming up, there's no doubt about it, and the good thing about poor beagles in particular is they can actually raise their own body temperature. So they can stay in colder climates as well. So they've been here a lot longer than people think. But nobody's really looked at them as a viable target. Not being a small bloke myself, one actually dragged me across the back of the deck during the strike. So, you know, we know there's big fish there.
My colleague Mr. Watling has come up with a cunning plan. The feeling today is that the tope are a little bit finicky. So they're coming in and they're attacking the bait that's on your main hook and they're not actually hooking up. So we're getting lots of indications, but not many hookups. So that magnificent fish that he caught earlier was caught with the help of one of these, which is a stinger. So basically what you do, there's a little loop there, and if you can just see, you just tighten the hook onto the main line with a loop like that, and that gives you basically a second hook. Now if I just grab one of the mackerel, so that hook goes through there, and your stinger goes through there, doubling your chance of hooking up. How about that for a clever trick? I'm in. I don't think it's as big as that fish Jason had. Lovely bite, really was a solid take. Been bouncing along. It's really interesting that the tide has just started to turn. You know, I said a little while ago that the tide had slackened off. Well, it's back again. Now, I'm using ever such light gear here, designed purely for catching the tope. Oh, taking line. Great fun. And this is what Paul was talking about, you know, this sort of joy of sport fishing, of just enjoying catching a fish. Gorgeous afternoon. We're coming up to the time of day now where this type of fishing can be at its absolute optimum, and it's no coincidence that on that turn of tide, rod tip's gone over, fish on. It's also interesting that I've got a stinger on. So that tactic of Mr. Watling, who is obviously a lot cleverer than he looks, is paying off. Make some ground. This is fantastic. And the best bit is, I know, you know, it's a shark. There's a shark on the end. A few miles out of Portland. Right, there's my leader and the shark's down there. Look at that, there he is. Oh, fantastic. What a sight. It's a shark. Look at that. Getting flack from the skipper. No, it's not a dogfish. It's not a very big tope, but it is a tope. Oh. Didn't like the look of that, did he, Paul?
No. Tail walking tope, told you.
So this is where you've got to be careful with them. Oh,
Absolutely. Oh, hello.
Get him in the net. Hey.
Right.
Brilliant. Now it's all going off because Pete the skipper's playing a fish. As we're trying to put a tag in this one, Jason's just spotted a poor beagle swimming around the boat. So Paul has just abandoned the tagging procedure for a second and is shallowing up to try and get a bait out that might catch us a poor beagle, which is the shark that we came to see. So we've made an executive decision. This one's going back in. Back he goes. Skipper's playing a fish. Let's go over and see what Pete's up to. Come on then, Skip.
Oh, I'm working hard.
Working hard. Taking your time.
Yes.
Fingers crossed for the knots, eh?
Yeah.
That was unkind of me. I shouldn't have said that.
I know. Well, I was expecting it.
Yeah.
I've been giving everyone else enough stick.
There's a poor beagle down here. We've just seen it for a second time. Pete's still playing a fish. There's a shark swimming around the bait. Look at that. Was that the porgy?
Yeah. I'm letting it. Guys, it's going down on its own. Don't worry. Whoa, not too fast. Let's pull it up.
Right, let's get a net. It's just come up to have a look at the baits. Paul reckons that might have been a £100 fish.
Big fish.
And all the time, Pete is playing this taupe. So
We'll get that higher in the water.
this is a real kind of Jaws moment. There's a relative of a great white. Oh, I'm shaking. There's a relative of a great white swimming around the boat a few miles off Portland. Good Lord. Hello.
Just having a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right, can somebody get me a fighting belt, please?
There's a fish on. Here we go, people. Here we go.
Come on.
So one of the porgy rods has gone. There goes the line.
Here we go. Here we go. There we go.
Yep.
Not unless you still wake up. Gone.
Oh, well, Paul's lost that one. Right, let's get a net. There we go, Skip. So that's it then, we're back alongside in Portland Marina. It's been a magnificent day. We've had a dozen fish, all taupe. Am I disappointed we didn't catch a poor beagle? Maybe a little bit, but do you know what? We've seen two. We know they're out there, and that's just absolutely thrilling. It's been a really brilliant experience. I can't wait to come back and have another go. Now Husey, typically the week after we went out on the boat, look what the boys filmed. Now that, coming up alongside Big Buoy, is a poor beagle shark, which they reckon was 200 pounds in weight, and that's not even the biggest fish that's out there.
Wow. Well, look, for a start, it's a real shame that it didn't happen when you were there. It would have been brilliant to see that and witness it ourselves. But what it goes to show is that those lads thought those fish might be round. They're the only people that have started looking for them, and actually they were right. And that's just a wonderful success story, isn't it? It's proper pioneering that.
It is. The other thing I love about it is a real change in the sort of the sea fishing experience, because for so many years people have gone out sea fishing with a single view, which is to fill the freezer up with cod and other fish. Well, actually what this does is it changes the game completely, because we're starting to look for fish that are sport fish species, you know, going out for the enjoyment of catching fish with a view on the environment to kind of look at what's out there and experience the whole thing that's going on off our coast. It's extraordinary, really is.
Well, one of the things that amazes me is actually that they're around, and also what else is around as well, because we've seen the environmental change where more and more new fish are coming in. I mean, look at the size of the tuna that are coming in off the coast of Ireland now that have never been seen before. Look at Adam Kirby sending that report in earlier in the year about the fact that they saw a marlin in British waters. That's absolutely incredible, and it's absolutely true, and it's recorded. First ever time it's been documented. Amazing, isn't it? Our waters are definitely changing. Whether it's for the better environmentally, I don't know, but certainly from the fishing side of things, it's a lot better.
One thing you certainly can't do with the sea is do a lot about it, because they're being following the Gulf Stream, the weather patterns are changing, things are warming up. So I think the whole thing is about that pyramid, the one that you love so much, and you talk about that predator pyramid, where you get bait fish, you get predators. Different bait fish, different predators. That's why those different species are starting to turn up.
Absolutely, and there's all sorts of fish out there that we can fish for, so don't worry about the fact that it's cold. You know you want to get out there and get fishy.
On the Bank was proudly sponsored by Dovetail Games Eurofishing.